Have you ever had that strange feeling that you're being manipulated? Like someone's pulling your strings, but you can't quite see how? Well, believe it or not, from politicians and advertisers to people in our own lives, these subtle tricks of dark psychology are being used all the time. So let's dive in and see exactly how they work.
Weak-minded people, skip this video now.
Still with me?
Of course you are. See what I did there? By telling you not to watch, my real goal was to make you want to watch even more. And just like that, you've experienced the power of dark psychology firsthand. That little feeling of defiance you just had, that's a move in an invisible game of psychological influence that's played all around us. Now, in this explainer, we're going to break down the rules of that game. But let me be clear, this isn't so you can go out and exploit people. It's so you can recognize the game and defend yourself whenever someone tries to play it on you. All right, let's kick things off with the first set of tricks. These are all about controlling what you think, and more importantly, the choices you think you have. So the trick I used on you at the very beginning, that's called reverse psychology. And at its core, it taps into a really simple human truth. We absolutely hate being told what to do. The moment someone forbids something, it feels like a direct challenge to our freedom. And our instinct is to push back and do it anyway. So how does this actually play out? Well, first you have the challenge. You say something like, I bet you can't finish this project on time. Right away, they're motivated to prove you wrong. Then there's the inversion. Oh, don't worry about helping me with that. It's probably boring anyway. And finally, the no expectation, where you act like you have zero faith in them. This triggers their deep-seated need to earn your approval. Okay, now for a trick that is just brilliantly deceptive, the illusion of choice. This is all about making people feel like they're in the driver's seat by offering them options. But here's the catch. Every single one of those options leads to the exact outcome you wanted from the start. And the best part? The person is happy because they feel like they made the decision. And once you see this, you'll spot it everywhere. Your boss asks, hey, do you want to finish this report today or tomorrow? Notice the question isn't if you'll do the work, it's just when. Or on a date, comedy or a thriller. The destination was already decided. You're going to the movies. It's not about what they think, it's about making them think what you want them to think. Okay, now we're going to move into some more, well, insidious tactics. These ones hack directly into our core human emotions, our fear, and our desperate need to feel connected to other people. Fear-mongering. This one is a classic. It's the simple act of creating or amplifying fear to push an agenda. And it works so well because when we're afraid, our logical, rational brain just kind of takes a back seat, making us much, much easier to control. And this tactic, it's as old as time. Hitler used propaganda to create a terrifying common enemy. Politicians today still do it, warning that the country will fall apart if they lose. Companies use it to create scarcity with the last day of the sale. But where it gets really dark is in relationships. Someone might love bomb you, just shower you with this intense affection and attention, so you get addicted to it. Then they pull away. That creates this desperate fear of abandonment, making you willing to do almost anything to get that feeling back. Now let's talk about two tricks that sound similar but are actually worlds apart. You have the chameleon effect, which is a deep, long-term strategy of changing who you are to match someone else. And then you have mirroring, which is much more about building an instant, in-the-moment connection by reflecting their behavior right back at them. The chameleon effect is about becoming their perfect partner in crime. If they're ambitious, suddenly you're all about your 5-year plan. If they love cricket, guess what? You just became a huge fan. They start to feel this incredible connection, like they've finally found their soulmate, because you're essentially showing them a perfect version of themselves. This creates a powerful addiction to your approval. And once they're hooked, that fear of losing you gives you all the control. Mirroring is a much simpler connection hack. See, our brains are literally wired with something called mirror neurons. We feel understood when someone subtly reflects our own language and emotions. So if someone says, man, I'm just so exhausted, and a moment later you respond with, wow, you really do sound exhausted, it sends this powerful subconscious signal that says, this person gets me. It's an instant trust builder. All right, for our final section, let's look at some tactics that are all about action. These are direct, often nonverbal ways to assert dominance and control someone's behavior, sometimes without even saying a word. We often think that the person with all the power is the loudest one in the room, right? But what if I told you that true control often lies in what isn't said? Silence isn't weakness. When you use it correctly, it's pure dominance.
So here's how it works. The next time someone finishes speaking to you, don't say anything. Don't rush to respond. Just hold their gaze and stay silent for 1, 2, 3 seconds. It feels like an eternity, and it creates this immense psychological pressure. Most people just can't handle it. They'll start talking again just to fill the void, and that's when they'll over-explain, backtrack, and reveal way more than they ever intended to, all to break your powerful silence.
Next up, we have a classic, and I mean a textbook classic from psychology, the foot in the door technique. The whole idea is based on our brain's desire for consistency. Once we say yes to something small, it becomes psychologically really difficult to then say no to a bigger request later. Now, here's how it's used manipulatively. Imagine a coworker asks if they can borrow your notes from one meeting. Easy, right? That's the small yes. But then comes the amplification. Oh my gosh, my boss needs this summary right now, and I'm totally swamped. If I don't get this done, I could be in serious trouble. Now they hit you with the big ask. Could you just quickly write up the summary for me? You feel this pressure to solve the urgent crisis they just created, all because you already said yes to that first small thing. So we've definitely explored some dark territory. But the goal here isn't to create an army of master manipulators. It's time to shift our focus to what's really important, using all this knowledge for self-protection. So let's do a super quick recap. We've seen how reality gets shaped with reverse psychology and the illusion of choice. We've talked about how emotions get hacked using fear-mongering, the chameleon effect, and mirroring. And finally, we saw how behavior is directly controlled with that powerful pause and the foot in the door technique. And this all brings us to the single most important takeaway. The real power here isn't in learning how to use these tricks on other people. Not at all. The real power comes from recognizing them, from spotting that illusion of choice, from feeling the pull of that manufactured fear, and from being able to say, nope, not today, protecting your mind and your dignity. Because at the end of the day, that's what this knowledge is. It's a weapon. So the only question left is for you. Are you going to use it as a shield to defend yourself and maintain your freedom? Or are you going to use it as a sword? The answer to that question says everything about who you are.